Good afternoon from Frankfurt. We have finally arrived. Today is the second last day of AMPventure. We are super tired, as you probably can see, but we are really happy how the whole journey went, how the trip went, how the car performed, how we performed. And this video is going to be a summary, a wrap-up of the whole trip, because there's lots of things to do here in Frankfurt today. And basically there's not much for us to do here. And this is the reason why we're using today to make a little recap of the whole trip and tell you about the highlights and the low points of the last 5 weeks. And we're starting with Oslo. Norway was incredible. I loved Norway and I will definitely go back there. What fascinated me the most was how modern the country is and how open the people are. It was really incredible to see when we were driving through the city that there were so many electrical cars and everything was super clean and super organized. You just felt that as soon as we went into the university and the startup lab, you felt that there's a lot of energy going towards green energy and renewables and future technology. And this is what really impressed me. I will definitely go back there. I've only been to Oslo and the south of Norway. I will definitely go to the north because everyone told me that the north is a little bit more beautiful with all the fjords and the mountains and everything. So Oslo and Norway were definitely the first highlight for me on this trip. The second highlight was definitely the hike to the Øresund Bridge with Max. We walked there for like 25 minutes and then took amazing pictures. It was already almost night and there was very strange light and a little bit of rain and clouds, and the mood was very, I don't know, it very much touched me in that moment when we were there. And also we talked to Nilam on the phone. You didn't see this in this vlog, but you saw it in Nilam's live stream. She was live streaming and we integrated her we called her, or basically took a photo while she was live streaming, and we sent her the photo. After the Øresund Bridge, Copenhagen was cool, but the next big highlight for me was definitely Paris. And going back to Twins for Peace and seeing how the company grew and what they're doing now, and also telling you guys what they are and where you can find them. So this was really exciting because I've been there in the beginning with them, sorting all the shoes in the basement in an apartment in August in Paris in 2009. So this was really cool for me to see this and how much they advanced the whole business over the course of the last couple of years. My next highlight was definitely the day when Nilam arrived in Toulouse and we drove to Biarritz and San Sebastian. That was probably one of the 3 coolest days on the whole trip. Although it was quite a long driving day because we had to cover like 400 kilometers. But man, Biarritz was so amazing. It was so cool. It's directly next to the Atlantic, and you have this feeling, this French-Spanish feeling, and the architecture and the style of how the land looks there and the sea. It's incredible, and I very much love Biarritz. Although we were only there for a couple of hours, and the scenery, the people, the food, everything we had this day was just. It felt like a very nice holiday. So the next highlight on the trip was definitely Bilbao and the day we spent there. We're walking around Bilbao, going to the Guggenheim Museum in the morning, and then spending the whole day at the beach. Although the weather was not nice, it was very windy, it was rainy, but again it was the mood and what we saw and the impressions and how everything felt that day, which made it so special for me. We were all in a good mood. We were all excited to see the Guggenheim and to see the sea again. And the drone footage we took that day is probably the best we have taken during the whole trip. The coastline with the little castle on top of the small island, it was incredible. So although I love Barcelona, but this time Barcelona was definitely not one of the highlights. It was far too busy, far too many people. We were in such a hurry, too much stress, and we couldn't really enjoy Barcelona. Saragossa was nice, but the next highlight for probably everyone in the team was the south of France, which was the Salt Lakes near Montpellier, which looked incredible. And then for me personally, definitely the highlight in the south of France was Monte Carlo. But this is only because I love Formula One and I love cars, and walking and driving on the track. For me, it was a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and it was really, for me it's special. I watch Formula One since I'm I don't know, 5-6 years old, and I'm a big fan. So this was very special for me. The others, I don't think so. Richie, for example, I think he didn't really care. Luis, he found it interesting, but he was more, a little bit irritated by the whole lifestyle of Monte Carlo itself, which I didn't really care about. For me, it was the track and all the history that is there, and which I will not forget, and I definitely want to go back there, and maybe even for a race. After Monte Carlo, it's definitely Zermatt in Switzerland. It is incredibly expensive. It's crazy expensive. No, we didn't see any Europeans. We only saw Americans and Japanese people, which are probably the only ones in the world that can afford going to a place like this. But the nature, the landscape, the food, the whole experience with a city or a small village with no cars. I mean, come on, how can this not be amazing? And I think everyone who was in Zermatt with us agrees on that. That it's a very special place. That it's, look at the pictures. The pictures are incredible. They look like paintings. They look like Photoshop. But if you look at the unedited pictures, they're crazy amazing themselves. So Zermatt for me, definitely, probably the best day on this whole trip was in Zermatt with Max and Daniel, being on top of the mountains, over 3,300 meters high, and running around taking pictures and doing a video for you guys. So now that I've talked about all the different places, I also want to talk about all the different people that joined us on this trip. And there were many people. There was Nilam, there was Karim, there was Luis, there were all the different German roamers, starting from Max to Leo, Yannick, Daniel, Max, the other Max. And I all knew them before, but I've never worked with them on a project with deadlines, with actual work pressure. And that was a really interesting experience for us. Although we've done trips before like this, like Sweden or California, but this time was really special because we had to make a lot of distance with a car that you can't refuel at any point. So we really had to plan every single day, and we really had to think about, okay, we need pictures of the car for the agency and for Opel, but we also need to make a vlog, and we need to get to our hotel or Airbnb in order to get our edits going and everything. Logistically, it was quite complicated to arrange everything, and also. So there was two parts. On one side it was logistics, and on the other side it was content creation. And it was really hard to combine it together, especially with all these different people that all have different workflows and habits and ways of working. But it was really nice. And of course there were moments when Richie or I were not in a good mood, because we simply wanted to have some alone time, or have 3 hours where we could lie on our beds, calm down and switch down to a lower gear. But that simply wasn't possible. We were always talking to each other, always giving feedback, always exchanging files in order to edit the photos and the videos. And there was basically not a single moment within the last 5 weeks, except the moment when you're actually lying in bed, that you were alone. Often we had double rooms. There was this wonderful hotel in Montpellier that was probably the worst hotel in whole of Europe. It was a good experience, and I think we learned a lot about ourselves and about working with different people and what it comes down to in situations where there's a lot of stress and a lot of pressure to deliver what is asked of you on time. So I think we've grown quite a bit during the last 5 weeks. So after having told you everything about the locations and the people, I also want to talk to you about the format, the vlog. So this project for us was a test. If we could do a project like this with a daily video production, and it worked quite well. And although in the beginning I was, as you know, I was reluctant to be in front of the camera, we think, Neelam, Richard and I think that this is the only way possible for us, combining our agency life and our YouTube life with each other, and combining projects and also doing vlogs about the projects we do. And we're really interested what you think. Do you think this vlog is something that would interest you in the future? Of course, we would have to open up the vlog. You guys would probably get to know me even better or a lot better than you do now, because the life in Berlin is, of course, a very different one than the last 5 weeks. So really let us know in the comment section below, or email or on Instagram, wherever, if this is something that we should pursue. Our plan is to probably not vlog daily, but have a vlog 2 times a week. There will be other videos online in the next couple of weeks, that's for sure, because we've been to New York City before we went on this trip, and we shot some really nice videos in New York City that we've been holding back so far. But there will be a sequel to our True Food series. It will be online in the first half of July. So let us know about the vlog and what you think about it, and if you think that we should continue and what you would like to see in the vlog. And this leaves me only with one thing that is left, and this is how you can win the car. And I mentioned this in the Barcelona video, but only very shortly. And the reason is that the raffle for the car is starting on Sunday, the 2nd of July. All you need to do is, you need to go to the Facebook page of Opel and have a look for the raffle. Watch out for the raffle post. They're posting on Sunday the 2nd. And then you have a chance to win the car. And it's going to be the exact same car that we have been driving around Europe from Oslo to Barcelona and back to Germany. And I can tell you, we like this car very much. We almost love it. I would like to keep it because it's the perfect car for a city. It's a little tough going around Europe with an electric car, I have to admit that. But for the city and for short distances, under 400 kilometers, it's a perfect companion, and you definitely should try to win this car. Stay tuned, I will put this also in the info box. The 2nd of July, go to the Facebook page of Opel and watch out for the raffle post. And this leaves me with nothing. I have talked about everything I wanted to say today. We have 1 day left tomorrow. We are now in wonderful Frankfurt, as you can see. And tomorrow we will return the car to Opel, and I have the honor to talk to the chief marketing officer of Opel and do the last interview of AMPventure about what Opel thinks about electric cars, how they want to build the future when it comes to electric mobility. And I'm really honored to do this tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to this. And after the interview tomorrow, we are off to Berlin, and it's the first time in 5.5 weeks that we are sleeping in our own beds, and I'm really looking forward to it. Ciao, ciao.